Welcome back, everyone. In our last session, Session 3, we talked about unalienable rights 1, the right to life. We saw that every human life carries dignity because we are made in the image of God. Today, we move to the next truth, liberty. Let me start with a personal story. I travel back to China regularly. Every time I go, I see things that are impressive. China has built some of the most advanced transportation systems in the world. The high-speed rail is fast and efficient. The cities are filled with stunning skyscrapers. The food is amazing. On the surface, life looks comfortable and modern. But there is another reality. China also has one of the largest surveillance networks in the world. Estimated hundreds of millions of surveillance cameras watching streets, buildings, and neighborhoods. On top of that, there is a massive system monitoring the internet and social media. The party watches online speech constantly. If someone says something critical of the government, the police may appear within hours. Some people are detained, some disappear from public life completely. And this raises an important question. Some people say, why worry about liberty? If people have good food, good transportation, and modern cities, sacrificing some freedom is acceptable. That is the key question for today's session. The short answer is this. Without liberty, a nation cannot produce free-spirited and virtuous people. And without liberty, prosperity cannot last. Liberty allows people to speak the truth, question those in power, and hold leaders accountable. When that freedom disappears, power grows unchecked and disaster follows. Material comfort can exist without freedom for a time. But without liberty, truth cannot correct injustice, and eventually the system begins to decay. The American founders understood this deeply. Most of them had comfortable lives. They were lawyers, doctors, merchants, and educated leaders. They were among the elites of their time. So why did they risk everything? Why did they speak so strongly about liberty? To understand why the founders valued liberty so deeply, we must understand something that was widely accepted in their time. Christian anthropology. Christian anthropology is a branch of theology that studies the nature of human beings. At its core are two truths: human dignity and human depravity. Sadly, both truths are largely forgotten in modern culture. First, the founders clearly understood human dignity. The Bible teaches that human beings are made in the image of God. Because God Himself is free and sovereign, He created human beings with the freedom to choose between good and evil, right and wrong, and with moral responsibility for those choices. Because we are created with this freedom, we have the ability to create, to reason, and to seek truth. We have the hope of eternity. We have the capacity to love, to form families and communities, and to worship our Creator. All of these are closely connected to liberty. Remember the pilgrims on the Mayflower. They fled Europe because they wanted the freedom to worship God according to their conscience. That is why the founders valued liberty so deeply. Second, the founders also understood another truth of Christian anthropology: human depravity. Human beings are made in God's image, but we are also fallen in sin. Every human heart is capable of selfishness, pride, and corruption. This truth becomes especially dangerous when power is involved. That means government itself can become the greatest threat to the very rights it is supposed to protect. The founders understood this deeply. As the British historian Lord Acton famously said, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Because human nature is fallen, power must be limited and accountable." During the American struggle for independence, some colonists used a powerful slogan: "No king but King Jesus." The colonists had experienced the heavy hand of George III, the King of England. They believed that no earthly ruler should hold ultimate authority over human life and conscience. God alone is the true king. The Bible itself teaches this principle. Psalm 146:3 warns us, "Do not put your trust in princes, in human beings who cannot save." Human rulers are not saviors. The founders believed that lasting prosperity could only exist in a society where freedom was protected and authority was limited under God. But liberty must also be used responsibly. The Bible reminds us in Galatians 5:13, "You were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh." True liberty is not chaos. It is the freedom to live responsibly before God. The Bible itself warns us about the danger of concentrated power. Look again at 1 Samuel 8:10-18. In this passage, the people of Israel ask for a king like the nations around them. Through the prophet Samuel, God warns them what powerful rulers tend to do. Again and again, the passage repeats the same phrase. He will take. He will take your sons. He will take your daughters. He will take your fields. He will take your crops. He will take your servants. He will take your animals. And finally, Samuel gives a sobering warning. You yourselves will become his slaves. Notice what is happening here. Israel was not rejecting government entirely. They already had judges and leaders. What they were really rejecting was God as their true king. They wanted a powerful human ruler like the nations around them. They wanted visible political power that looked impressive to the world. God allowed them to make that choice, but before they did, He gave them a clear warning. Human power has a natural tendency to grow, expand, and control. Now, the Bible does not teach that government itself is evil. Government has a legitimate role. Romans 13 teaches that civil authority can restrain evil and maintain order. But the Bible is also very realistic about human nature. When government begins to replace God as the highest authority, freedom begins to shrink, and prosperity soon declines. Many people today feel that our country may be drifting toward a kind of soft tyranny, when government power slowly expands while freedom quietly shrinks. Think about some of the alarming trends we have seen in recent years. Vaccine mandates during COVID, the silencing of dissenting voices on social media, and ever-rising taxes in many states. These concerns remind us that liberty must always be protected. The lesson of 1 Samuel 8 is clear. When a nation forgets God, power grows, liberty fades, and eventually the nation suffers. That is why Christians must learn to influence culture with wisdom, courage, and truth. Now, let's turn to some of the common questions people are asking in our communities. Question 1. Isn't strong government necessary to keep society stable? If authority keeps order, why worry so much about liberty? That's an important question. The issue is not whether government has a responsibility to maintain order. Of course it does. The real question is what the ultimate purpose of a just government should be. According to the founders, the primary mission of government is to secure the natural rights of all people: life, liberty, and the freedom to worship God without persecution. Think again about the pilgrims who came on the Mayflower. They did not cross the ocean simply for economic opportunity. Many of them came because they wanted the freedom to worship God according to their conscience. Now that the mission is clear, the next question is this: how should government secure natural rights and preserve lasting liberty for its people? Here the founders were very realistic about human nature. Both the people and the government can become unstable forces in society. People are sinful and capable of disorder. And rulers are also sinful and capable of abusing power. History shows this pattern again and again. When authority becomes concentrated, it often becomes the first source of instability. That is why the founders designed a system of limited government, where power is restrained and divided. They created checks and balances so that no single ruler or institution could dominate the nation. We will explore that structure more closely in a later session, but the basic idea is simple. Liberty encourages virtuous citizens and responsible leaders. And a society shaped by virtue is far more stable than one ruled only by fear and force. Question 2. Doesn't the Bible teach Christians to submit to governing authorities? So why question government power at all? This is another very important question, and many sincere Christians wrestle with it. Yes, the Bible clearly teaches that believers should respect and submit to governing authorities. Romans 13 reminds us that government is part of God's order for society. But Romans 13 also describes what a just government is meant to be. It says that rulers are God's servants for the good of the people, called to reward what is good and restrain what is evil. In other words, government is not an unlimited authority. It has a specific purpose and operates under God's moral law. Government does not stand above God. It is accountable to Him. God's authority is always higher than human authority. Throughout Scripture, when human rulers command something that contradicts God's truth, faithful believers must obey God first. Think about the apostles in the book of Acts. When the authorities ordered them to stop preaching the gospel, they responded with these words: "We must obey God rather than men." Submission to government does not mean blind obedience to everything the state demands. Government itself is under God's authority. And when government power grows beyond its proper limits, Christians have both the right and the responsibility to speak the truth with wisdom and courage. We remind the world that human rulers are not ultimate. God alone is king. So what do we learn from all of this? Liberty is a sacred right that God has endowed to human beings. The freedom to worship, the freedom to think, and the freedom to speak. The primary mission of government should be to protect that liberty, because only liberty can nurture virtuous and God-fearing citizens and leaders. And it is those virtuous citizens and leaders who help preserve a nation's freedom from tyranny and slavery. In the next session, we will explore another profound idea from the Declaration: the pursuit of happiness and what true human flourishing really looks like under God's moral order.